Welcome everyone to this week's version of the Kitsap Weekly Market Stats. We saw a nice little uptick in new listings. We had been floating around 40, 50 for multiple weeks, but hey, we got up into the 60 zone. Okay, so 63 new homes out there, about 14% higher than just the previous week. Another number that jumped up this week that was kind of surprising was the amount of homes that lowered their price. This is a number I've been tracking now for a couple of years, as back when the height of the market, this was a 0 or 1 every single week. It'll be interesting to see if this number stays high or if sellers kind of understand what's going on in the economy and they come out pricing a little bit more accurately. Okay, so 50 homes, that's a big jump this past week. The actual activity numbers, still seeing a lot of activity. You might be hearing news that in the economy things aren't really moving, things are just kind of stale right now, but here we're having about 100 homes or so go pending, meaning they had offers accepted. 50 actually sold, they actually closed. So that's good. So we had 63 new homes come on, 50 sold, 98 went pending. Where's our inventory at? Well, it's starting to climb a little bit, but really it hasn't changed much from this 300 to 350 zone for many, many weeks. Days on market, again, it's been kind of floating around the same mark as well. The last week, all the homes that went pending, or I'm sorry, sold, were in the average, were on market for 24 days. Median sold price. This number is a little bit more volatile. It can change any given week, but this past week, $507,000. So we've been fluctuating from the 470 to 510. So it kind of depends. You know, you might get that one home that really shoots up that number, but 507,000, still very high here in Kitsap County. Okay. One number that's super good to know is, what are homes still selling for over list price? Or are they selling below list price, right at list price? In this past week, homes are actually selling on average below list price, and the average median sold to list price was 97.6%. Well, let's just break down these numbers again. We were just talking about that. We kind of more of a buyer's market or seller's market. Well, a lot of times when you just break down the percentage of homes that sold above, or at, or below list, we'll answer that question. Well, this past week, let's see, 24% sold above, 34 at, and 42% below. This past week was a little bit more of a buyer's market. We had almost half the homes that sold were below list price. Before we wrap up today, we're talking about, we're experiencing two different markets, especially for buyers that are in the, let's say, if you're looking for a home, it's a first-time home, or you're just looking for a home that's maybe like 450 or below, it's a whole different story than folks that are maybe looking in the 700 and or 500 up zone, right? It's a bifurcated market, all right, which means two separate markets. Well, we wanted the actual data on this, and what we found were that the homes that sold at 50 or 500,000 and above, it was on average it took them 50 days, almost 2 months it took, because there's just not nearly as many fish in that pool. Right? Those homes sit longer. Well, let's go just 499 and below, and that was 31 days. Okay, so there's a 19-day difference. So that doesn't sound like that big of a difference, but there were actually two homes in all those that were kind of outliers that just sat on the market for a long time. Remove those two homes in the 499 below range, and it goes all the way down to 5 days was the average. That's just kind of where we're at today. Is like, we look at the market as a whole, but really you got to hone in on what your price is and the area that you're looking for, and then that will help adjust your strategy. That is the stats for this week. Come at you something new, fresh next week, some new stats. We'll see if these numbers adjust much. But that is it for this week. Thank you so much for tuning in again.